Hello, everyone. It's time for Vanishing Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costamas. This is episode 335, season 14. Today's date is June 2nd, 2024, and welcome to the program. Another podcast episode for this weekend. On today's show, I will talk about the Walgreens Drug Stores. They are still here, but what's different about this topic is their cafeterias. And they had that long time ago, their soda fountains and also, and the cafeterias, of course. And I'll talk about a little history of that and my memories of visiting one when I was a child. Also, I'll talk about the cartoon series Felix the Cat. That was a syndicated series. I remember watching this when I was growing up in Chicago. Talk about the history of that character. And that should be a lot of fun. Okay. Right now, the program will go into a commercial break. And this program is brought to you by Mercury Bobcat. That's a car. And here's a commercial from 1976, I believe. Yeah. When I come back, maybe I'll correct it. But so sit back and relax, and I'll be right back with the show, folks. Thank you.
In a Mercury Bobcat, and it's love at first drive. Mercury introduces the new 76 Bobcat MPG with a spunky 2.3-liter overhead cam engine, estimated at 34 miles per gallon in the EPA highway test, 24 in the city test. Your actual mileage may vary. This solid little Mercury gives you hundreds of pounds more car than most small imports and includes a standard self-adjusting rear brakes, front disc brakes, rack and pinion steering, new high back buckets, generous sound insulation, handy rear third door, all standard.
Love that Bobcat. Love that Bobcat.
Best of all, 3-door or wagon, Bobcat has sticker price less than many small imports.
Love that Bobcat. Love that Bobcat.
America,
Love your Bobcat.
at the sign of the cat.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Mercury Bobcat, the car. That's almost exactly like the Ford Pinto, if you remember that. The Ford Pinto was in business it was on the market from 1971 to 1980, and it was the first subcompact car produced by Ford in North America. And then if you didn't want that, then you could buy a Mercury Bobcat, and that came much later from 1975 to 1980. They both were gone by then. So there was they had safety issues with that, and that was bad. I used to see them all the time when I was growing up in the 70s, around the neighborhood or was at school, like that. The memories I had was when I used to watch Charlie's Angels, on television. I think it was Kate Jackson's character that drove the Pinto. Yeah, she drove that. It wasn't Farrah Fawcett. Farrah Fawcett drove a Mustang or something. Yeah, she drove I think so. It's been a while since I've seen the show. I don't know what Jacqueline Smith drove. Probably the same thing, And I remember the cars. If you watch the show, you will see all these classic cars. They were driving around. The yacht. The yacht cars, those huge ones, Cadillacs, Lincoln Continentals, like that. Oh, that was amazing, like that. And the year that this commercial was released was 1976. 200 years, bicentennial. So that's an infamous car. There's a lot of infamous cars that rolled out the assembly line It was the Convair, and Chevrolet. There was the Edsel. There's the Ford that goes way back in 1957. What else? The AMC cars, the Gremlin, Pacer. I talked about that in a previous podcast episode, which is kind of cool. So I chose that for this show. If you want to see commercials on YouTube, go ahead. Help yourself. Okay. All right. At the beginning of the program, I mentioned I'm going to talk about the cafeterias that were once housed in Walgreens drug stores. This was a long time ago, and also the cartoon series Felix the Cat. That was a syndicated cartoon. Before I get started, I want to mention one thing. It's not about my health, not really. It's related, but today is National Cancer Survivors Day. It always falls on June 2nd, and I am a cancer survivor, and this is very important to me and a lot of people because ever since I was diagnosed in December 2019, it's been hectic, crazy. Had doctor's appointments, operations, radiation, treatments, and on and on and on. I just want to go to checkups. That's it. Every 6 months, you go there, the doctor says, "Oh, you're okay," then you leave. That wasn't the case. No, it's more than that. So it has settled down now. Ever since I got the infusion for Zometa last Friday, I will not see a doctor, any of those doctors till August. So that's good. The only doctors I will see in July is probably my eye doctor. That's no big deal. And also follow up on my radiation. That's on June 25th. That's no big deal. But like I said before, my PSA fell to 2.08. That's excellent. That's awesome. So we'll see about that. We'll see about the Zometa because I've heard crazy side effects like your jaw would hurt, you would get tired, you would sweat, and all that. So far I'm fine, but it's only been 3 days. You never know. It might creep up. I'm praying, but I'll be okay. So hopefully everything will be fine. I hope so. So I got a break. Thank God. Oh, it's nuts. People have told me this. You've had a crazy ride with this. It doesn't stop. I know it hasn't stopped, but that's how it is. People are, the doctors are trying to take care of me. They're trying to make me healthy, and they're doing the best they can and getting the best care. And I appreciate that, because health is very precious. It really is. Okay, now we'll talk about Walgreens, the cafeterias. This goes back long time ago, like in the early 20th century, I believe. So, they had soda fountains and like that. So anyway, it was Charles Walgreen. He was the founder of the drugstore. He had a great idea. He said, "Yeah, why don't we have a soda fountain, at the drugstore?" So that spread around very quickly. That's unusual because a drugstore, you go there to buy, medicine or other things. Then, according to some sources, when there was prohibition, that hit like in the like the late 20s and early 30s, like that, and then it was repealed later on. People just went to a soda fountain. They have a soda jerk. That's a guy who serves this, the milkshakes or coffee or ice cream or sandwiches. It's kind of cool like that. And they were there for a long time. And every Walgreens in the city had them. I don't know about the suburbs. Maybe they did. Probably. They probably did. And then, I've my earliest memory of the cafeterias was probably the early 70s. One time, my mother and I went downtown, and we stopped off at Walgreens, and we went downstairs. And this was at Randolph and State in the Loop. She wanted to do just some shopping, and and I told my I asked her, I'm hungry. Can I eat something? She goes, yeah. Okay. So she got me a little bowl of ice cream. That's enough. And then we ran into a couple people we knew at the time, and that was fun. like the uh, so I remember you go down the escalator, and there it was on the corner. That Walgreens is still there, but I haven't been to that one in years. Long, long time ago. I like to go one day and see how it is. But I'm sure it's been refurbished, renovated. It's unrecognizable. I don't know. It looked like it had an upper level now. I think. I don't know if the downstairs exists. I don't know. I have no idea. So we'll see about that. And then so I found a menu yesterday from 1964. And I said, wow, that's a cool menu. You know, so I'm not going to read off every item. Well, basically, yeah. So I'll tell you what they had. And then, so let's see, hold on a second. And then I will tell you what they had like that. And so just a moment, please. And I'll get it. Okay, here we go. Okay, I got it up. And you know what's so great about this menu? It's so colorful, it's so beautiful, and the food looks so tempting and irresistible. So that was kind of funny like that. So here we go. Like I said, this is from 1964. And what they had, like for example, they had chili con carne. They had, that is chili, with meat. They had soup. Didn't say how much. Those, the chili cost 35 cents and 25. This is from 1964. Also, they had hamburgers, cheeseburgers, fried fish, barbecue beef, T-bone steak. T-bone steak sandwich is like 99 cents. Wow, doesn't cost like that today. And and 2 scrambled eggs. You get a grilled ham with 4 strips of bacon. Toast and jelly. Wow, that's amazing. Also, they had roast turkey, baked meatloaf. It came with vegetables like that. They also had deep fried fish. Seafood if you like seafood. Also, a breaded veal steak. These were sandwiches. Also, a hot turkey sandwich and a hot beef sandwich. So, like that. Yeah, so that's kind of nice. Okay, so the next up, I'm going to talk about my favorite, the desserts. Okay, just a moment, please, and I'll get it. Here we go. Look at that. Now they had Sundays, double dip Sundays. I think a lot of people remember this. And the type of flavors they had was chocolate, butterscotch, hot fudge, fresh strawberry, and pineapple fruit. Ooh, that's good. And they served it in a goblet, very fancy ice cream, like a glass like that. And it came in king size, of course. And they had chocolate, cherry, vanilla, root beer, crushed pineapple, and also what their specialty was, their super banana split. 3 scoops of ice cream, any flavor you choose. 3 flavors of syrup and topping, chopped nuts, cherries, and whipped topping. That sounds wonderful. So that sounds great. Also, the other items they had was salads. They had a health fruit plate. That came with cottage cheese, diced fruit, lettuce, rolled butter. Sounds good. Twin pineapple with rings with cottage cheese and crisp lettuce. Now that sounds like a diet plate to me. So it's like which is this should bring this back. I don't know if people like cottage cheese or pineapple. Old tomato with white meat. Tuna fish. Crisp lettuce and dressing. Peach delight. They had peach halves. With jello squares. Cottage cheese dressing. Oh, that sounds good. Other sandwiches they had, like bacon and tomato club, like a BLT, ham and cheese, liver sausage. Not crazy about that. Bacon and egg, tuna fish, of course. Also, a grilled cheese. They had that, and also for other desserts they had was fruit jello. A lot of people are not crazy about icebox cream pie. I wonder what that is. That sounds good. Apple pie a la mode. Oh, strawberry shortcake a la mode. Oh, strawberry shortcake. And ice cream desserts. And beverages. They had hot chocolate. A lot of people mentioned hot chocolate they had there. They said it was excellent. They had milkshakes, malted milk. Oh, sounds good. Probably chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, iced tea. Iced tea, hot tea, milk, Coca Cola, orange or grapes drink, and of course Sanka if you don't want caffeine. You know what's funny? This menu I found is from 1964-65, and this was located at 63rd Street in South Park, which is now Martin Luther King Drive. It's been like this since the late 60s, and it's probably by the L, the green line. So it probably was there. So that's fascinating. It really is. Wow, it's delicious. And then they went away after that. So after that, they opened Wags. I did a podcast episode about that, but this is different because Wags was a sit-down restaurant, and they were all over the Chicagoland area. There was one near my house. There was one near where I went to DeVry Institute of Technology in the mid-'80s, and all over the place. And people loved that restaurant. They really did. The food was good, very good. And that lasted about early 90s. And then so people still talk about that restaurant to this day, and I don't know why it happened. I really don't know. Maybe they were in debt or something, or just fell out of favor because there was competition, and then they turned it into Shoney's. You remember that? That was there briefly, and then they went gone. So that was that. Okay. So that's fun, but I wish I went to. I wish I went to a soda fountain in the early days because it was fun. You would sit up in the counter, like with the bar, with the stools, and I would drink a chocolate milkshake and listen to the jukebox. I think they had jukeboxes there, and a guy or a waitress would, I'd take your order and get you a nice big bowl of ice cream, milkshake, a banana split. That sounds wonderful. It really does. Okay. Right now, I'm going to talk about Felix the Cat. And this was a cartoon character. He's one of the earliest cartoon characters ever created. This is before Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse came like in the 20s, 1928. Felix the Cat came much earlier than that. He's not as popular or well remembered than Mickey Mouse. So he was created in 1919 and it was created by two men. Their names were Pat Sullivan and Otto Mesmer during the silent era, the film silence, and I've seen clips of him, the silent ones, and it's fascinating to see. Oh my God, it's great. And then they started merchandising, because like that. And he didn't have a supporting cast much, So when the late 1920s arrived and they started with sound, no more silent films, Felix the Cat, his popularity waned. And then Mickey Mouse came. And then he took over. And so they decided to make, sound cartoons. And they did for a while. But the ones that I remember was the syndicated show. And let's see what else. The syndicated show started like in the late 50s, I believe. Because, let's see. Yeah, it started around. It premiered on WGN TV Channel 9 in Chicago on December 14th, 1959. And that premiered at 6:30 in the evening. And it was in color. So that's a big draw to that. And what's fascinating about Felix the Cat that was different from the earlier cartoons that he carried a magic bag of tricks. So whenever Felix the Cat was in trouble, he would take his bag of tricks and form it into some sort of weapons, or to defend himself against bad guys. And the first time I saw it was in the 70s, like the mid 70s, when I came home from school, and it aired on Channel 32, WFLD TV in Chicago. It was about like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I used to catch them all the time. I found them fascinating. I'd see, it was like real fun like that. And so the characters, let's see. So he had some villains and some a great supporting cast like that. Like for example, his enemies were the professor. Sometimes he was a mad scientist, but sometimes he sided with him. When I was a little kid, I was confused like that because he uh, he was against him and then became a reluctant ally. And then he had a young nephew called Poindexter, and he was his best friend. He had a mortarboard. He looked like a graduate, and he had thick Coke block glasses. He was a nerd, and so he always invented stuff like that. The other villains were Rock Bottom. He was a bulldog, and he was also the professor's sidekick. So he they tried to steal. The main focus of those guys was to steal Felix's magic bag of tricks. They wanted that, but they never succeeded. Another one was the Master Cylinder. Now he was a kind of a robot. He looked like a trash can, and he had big eyes, and he had like those arms like that. And he was just a robot. He lived on the moon, and he tried to get. He was a big troublemaker. All that. Also, there was Martin the Martian. He was not the one from Bugs Bunny. This is another one. So he'd always help Felix the Cat like that. Whatever jam he was in. Also, there was another bad guy. It was General Clang. He was a evil general in space. I didn't remember much about him. Also, there was another ally, a friend of Felix. His name was Vavoom, and he was like an Inuit, like an Eskimo. And he had this talent, and then he opened his mouth, he would say "Vavoom." He would cause an avalanche or cause disruption. It was so funny. I loved it. So yeah. So that show ran about it had about 130 stories, like 260 episodes, and ran for half an hour. And it only ran for 2 years. But it was syndicated, and then it moved to Channel 44, WSNS, and I watched that too. They have it on DVD if you will care to see it. They do that. And so you could find episodes on YouTube if you like. It's really funny. Okay. Anyway, let's see what else. Right now, I'm going to play the theme song of Felix the Cat. It's very familiar to most people. And when I come back, I'll wrap up the show. Okay? So sit back and relax, and you'll listen to the theme song of Felix the Cat. Thank you, everyone.
Felix the cat, the wonderful, wonderful cat. Whenever he gets in a fix, he reaches into his bag of tricks. Felix the cat, the wonderful, wonderful cat. You laugh so much your sides will ache, your heart will go pit-a-pat. Watching Felix, the wonderful cat.
Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song for Felix the Cat. That was written by a man. His name was Winston Sharples. He was an American composer. And the woman who sings the theme song, her name was Ann Bennett. She was a big band singer, in the 40s, like that. And it's a catchy song. It's a catchy theme song, and it's kind of cool, like that. You can't get it out of your mind. I love the show because it was like he had his adventures. Some were a little repetitive. One of his trademarks that Felix the Cat had was his laugh. Whenever the bad guys got defeated, he would laugh. He would put his hands on his chest and go, ha 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 ha. And it's hilarious. Like it did it every time. So it's for little kids, the show, and I understand that. But it was fun watching it. It really was, like that. And sometimes you get in the mood, you want to watch an episode, you might as well go to YouTube, or you have the DVDs. They don't have all the episodes. It's just a shame. So that's another memory of mine. When I watch cartoons in the afternoon, on Channel 9, Channel 32, Channel 44 in the 70s. Beautiful, beautiful memories. Okay. So that's it for this show. I'll do a recap of what I talked about. I talked about the cafeterias that were once held at Walgreens Drug Stores. And I'll talk and the syndicated cartoon series Felix the Cat. This podcast will be published later on today, where podcasts are available on any app: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast. You tap on those apps, you click follow, and you'll get the latest notifications. You can set those up yourself. Also, be on my blog, vanishchicagoland.blog. You just click on that on your phone, on your tablet, on your desktop, anywhere. And like I said, it's on Spotify as well. Also, it's on YouTube. Again, people ask me, where do I find your podcast? Where do I find your podcast? You can find it on YouTube. Hit the search engine, type in Van Chicagoland Stories, the podcast, or my name, Pete Costanas. You will find it. Click subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. You can also listen to previous episodes. You also get a notification for the latest episode. Help yourself. Take your time. They're all there. Also, it'll be shared on my social media accounts. Facebook, X, LinkedIn, Reddit, Blue Sky, Threads, TikTok, Instagram. And yeah, I think I got them all. If I miss one, that's okay. If you find me, you'll find it there. Okay. So that was fun. It really was. I will probably do another podcast episode Tuesday. Probably. I said that last week, but something came up. So I don't think I have anything planned. I doubt it. So, okay. So this is Pete Costanas, your host of Van Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. Thank you for joining me today. It looks like a nice day. It's a nice Sunday. It rained yesterday. It's kind of cool. So just relax. Yesterday I was very tired, so I lay down most of the day. But I'm a little better. Each day I'm getting better. So, okay. And so just enjoy the rest of your Sunday. So here's bye-bye for me, and here's Ray Rayner with a little traveling music saying bye, bye, bye. Take care, everyone, and so long.
We have to go. Bye, bye, bye.